It's a unique offshore hydrocarbon frontier, a new one at that, that is highly exciting because of all the geopolitics surrounding the region and the finds and the complexities of political and security issues surrounding the exploration and exploitation of these resources. We are facing a highly complex political puzzle. You have to deal in the Eastern Mediterranean. If you look around the region, the commercial business interests of exploiting these resources are aligned perfectly. You have a gas-hungry Turkey. You have Israel, which is a major new producer. You have also a gas-hungry Egypt and a gas-hungry of Jordan. And you have Cyprus in the middle of all this, that is in an earlier phase of exploration than the Israelis are, but nevertheless has a great prospect of becoming a major producer itself. But if you look at the political setup, it currently seems to prevent the ideal business exploitation of these resources, and the export scenarios that would make the most commercial sense are either impossible or at least very difficult from a political perspective. There are many unknowns we are still dealing with, so we don't necessarily know what the exact size of the resource base is, especially around Cyprus. We have a better idea of the resource base in Israel. There are again political considerations and business considerations. All the countries that are going to export are looking at multiple options, and they prefer to have multiple options, so they don't want to lock themselves into one particular market. That said, I think the commercial arguments as well as the political arguments, if you can overcome these geopolitical barriers, would point to a regional utilization of these gas resources. So Israeli gas shipped to Turkey, a major and very fast-growing market. Cypriot gas ideally shipped to Turkey via pipeline one day as well as they proceed with the exploitation of these resources, but also Israeli gas to Egypt, which is a big market and a producer itself, but not at a high enough level to be able to satisfy the growing demand in the Egyptian population. And also Jordan as a market that lost access because of the security setup to Egyptian gas lately. So the regional utilization of that gas, I see that advantageous both from a commercial perspective and also from a political perspective. That said, the commercial players are also looking at LNG options to ship that gas to Asia. There are a number of issues surrounding that, including the commerciality of that, but also security issues that could be problematic from that perspective. In a way, yes, but I think in a good way, because again, the alignment of interests is just remarkable. So yes, you have a new resource base that to some extent strengthens the position of Cyprus, for example, but in an ideal scenario, it can also be used to facilitate a reconciliation between both sides of the island and between, of course, Turkey, Greece, and the island. So to jointly exploit those resources and to ensure that it's not exacerbate the tension, but it contributes to a peaceful resolution of the Cyprus conflict. In the case of Israel, clearly it strengthens the positions of Israel, which was a resource poor country, and the natural gas, not only from a business, commercial, economic perspective, but also from an environmental perspective, is a game changer. The running joke in Israel is that Moses led his people for 40 years through the desert, only to arrive the only spot in the Middle East that has no oil and gas. It holds no longer true with these findings, especially on the gas side. So it's a dramatically new strategic situation for Israel.